The SabreGenesis Electrosurgical Generator, brought to you by ConMed Electrosurgery. This presentation will outline the layout and controls of the ConMed SabreGenesis. In the next few minutes, you will learn how to select modes and adjust power settings, and you will become familiar with the unique capabilities and benefits of the SabreGenesis. The SabreGenesis is designed to be intuitive to use by healthcare professionals. As you scan across the lower portion of the face of the SabreGenesis, you will see the Dispersive Electrode jack, the combination monopolar accessory jack, the bipolar accessory jack, and the on-off power switch. Each jack is clearly identified by a descriptive icon located directly above it. Below each accessory jack are visual guides to help position the pins of the accessories as they are plugged into the jacks. Moving to the upper portion of the control panel of the SabreGenesis, you see the system displays and controls. The top left corner shows the Dispersive Electrode status display. The Automatic Return Monitoring System, or ARM, will detect the type of pad connected to the generator. Next is the cut display section. Users can choose pure cut, blend, or pulse cut. The power setting is adjusted by pushing either the up or down arrow keys. The coag section contains the display and controls for adjusting the coagulation output of the SabreGenesis. The power setting is adjusted by pushing either the up or down arrow keys. The bipolar section contains the display and controls for adjusting the bipolar output of the SabreGenesis. The power setting is adjusted by pushing either the up or down arrow keys. The last section of the display panel allows the user to adjust the audio volume of the tones from the unit. At the rear of the machine are additional connections. First is the connection for the power cord. Available to the left of the power cord connection is the equipotential grounding post if your hospital wishes to connect it. The activation relay connector is located to the right of the power cord connection. This connection is a receptacle for smoke evacuation systems and similar devices to synchronize with the generator when delivering electrosurgical output. Last are the connections for the bipolar and monopolar foot switches. Setting up the SabreGenesis is a simple and intuitive process. One of the main features of the SabreGenesis is its ease of use. The first step is to ensure that the power cord is connected to the SabreGenesis and to the wall outlet. Turn on the unit by depressing the on-off power switch to the on or on position. Immediately after the unit is powered up, it will go through a series of self-diagnostic tests. As part of the tests, the user should observe the display to ensure that all elements illuminate and listen for the tone. The unit will display an error message indicated by ERR on the display if it detects a fault, and will not allow the activation of an accessory. Refer to the operator's manual for further explanation of error messages. After the successful self-diagnostic routine, the SabreGenesis has the option to display the last used power in configuration settings. This is done as a convenience to the circulating nurse because many procedures require the same power settings. This feature can be disabled by your biomedical department if it is not desired. If disabled, when switched on, the SabreGenesis will default to standard modes and 0 power in each mode. Once the SabreGenesis is powered up, choose either of the following modes: pure cut, blend mode, or pulse cut. Set the power level by pushing the yellow up and down arrows in the cut display area. Power increases from 0 to 30 watts in 1 watt increments. After 30 watts, power increases by 5 watt increments. The power setting will remain the same between blend and pure cut. For example, if the power is set at 80 watts in pure cut, it will remain at 80 watts if blend is selected later. When selecting pulse cut, the power setting will default to the last settings used, and the coag power will default to 0 watts power as a safety feature in GI procedures where pulse cut is utilized. The power can be adjusted at any time, even when the electrosurgical pencil is being activated by the surgeon. Pure cut will provide a smooth, scalpel-like dissection, while blend will deliver dissection with hemostasis. Pulse cut provides precise energy bursts for critical dissections in delicate procedures such as sphincterotomies and polypectomies. Next, set the coag power level by pushing the blue up and down arrows in the coag display area. Standard coag produces a focused arc and deep hemostasis. Like the cut mode, the power setting can be adjusted while the pencil is activated. The bipolar coagulation power level is adjusted in the same manner as cut and coag. Electrosurgical accessories are an important part of the electrosurgical system as they deliver the therapeutic effect and safely remove the electrosurgical energy from the patient's body. Connect the electrosurgical pencil to the generator by inserting the prongs of the pencil into the combination monopolar accessory jack. The guides below each jack can be used to position the prongs appropriately before inserting the plug. All of the jacks are recessed to provide drip-proof safety. There is no need for an adapter if using a foot switch accessory with a Bovie No. 12 plug. The combination hand control or foot control connector accepts a Bovie No. 12 in the left-hand jack. Ensure that the plug is inserted all the way into the connector. The connector has been designed to eject the plug if not seated completely. Bipolar forceps cables are attached through the bipolar accessory connection. Simply insert the prongs into the jacks. Connecting the dispersive electrode is also simple with the SabreGenesis. Follow your hospital's guidelines for applying the dispersive electrode to the patient and then plug the connector into the dispersive electrode jack. The system will automatically sense whether a single or dual foil dispersive electrode is attached to the patient. The corresponding icon will illuminate and the appropriate monitoring mode will be activated. A dual foil dispersive electrode will activate ARM, ConMed's automatic return monitoring system. ARM helps to protect patients against pad site burns by continuously monitoring the electrical resistance of the patient between the dual foils of the pad. If the dispersive electrode becomes partially dislodged or if the electrical contact deteriorates during surgery for any reason, an audible alarm will sound and the SabreGenesis will no longer activate. The generator will remain disabled until the pad condition is corrected. A single foil dispersive electrode may also be used with the SabreGenesis. Please note that single foil and capacitive dispersive electrodes will not activate the ARM contact quality monitoring system and thus do not detect if the pad is dislodged from the patient. Plugging a single foil dispersive electrode into the SabreGenesis will illuminate the single foil pad icon. This indicates that the pad is plugged into the system, but the ARM contact quality monitoring system is not activated. ConMed recommends the use of dual foil pads whenever possible. Finally, adjust the volume of the unit by pressing the up and down arrows to find an acceptable volume for the operating room team. Before completing this section of the in-service video, examine the rear panel of the SabreGenesis to ensure that all connectors are securely in place. If necessary, connect the bipolar and monopolar foot switches by aligning the slot on the cable connector with the pin on the top of the unit connector. Slide the connectors together and tighten the locking ring completely. If using a smoke evacuator, be sure that the smoke evacuation cable or activator plug is completely inserted into its appropriate receptacle located on the rear panel. Thank you for watching this in-service presentation for the SabreGenesis. Please review this presentation periodically and discuss it with your colleagues and your ConMed electrosurgery representative to ensure that you maintain your familiarity with the operation of the SabreGenesis. Your understanding of the SabreGenesis will allow you to take advantage of many unique features and benefits it has to offer. The SabreGenesis Electrosurgical Generator, brought to you by ConMed Electrosurgery, a compact and reliable state-of-the-art generator.